Hi all. So today we are going to look into lights and how to bring lights and import lights to Unity. So what we are going to do is just to start to bring in lights, and in Unity basically it's pretty straightforward. You go to game objects and bring lights. However, in order to keep our model organized, I'm going to actually create an empty hierarchy object, rename it as artificial light. So, and then I can put all the lights attached to this, like similar to that element. So basically go to game, light. In this case, we'll start with a point light, which is just like a light bulb, the simplest one. Immediately once you click in, it gets in and it pops up here in the scene. I'm going to drop it into the hierarchy like this. We can play around. So basically it's just like another game object. If you press F, it jumps to it and it just brings in what kind of a light it is. So once you select it, the inspector should say all the elements. So I'm just going to place it inside. So this is pretty dark. So actually I want to see a bit where it's going to be applied into. So I want to put it close to the ceiling. As you can see, it's pretty reflective, and be careful. Don't put it inside of the surface. Otherwise, it will not light anything. So it's basically lighting inside of the inside of the concrete or the material that might have been of the wall. So in this case, I'm going to, obviously I'm still not seeing it, so I'll bring it down. So yeah, so now I can see all the reflections. So be aware of where it's going to be placed. So you place well the light, and then you can change the colors and you immediately start seeing what kind of elements you want. In this case, let's make it red to be really intense and obvious. And so this is kind of the element of how to bring lights. Again, once you go into the sphere, or however it's going to be aware that don't put it inside of the wall, otherwise things don't reflect as they should. So again, these kind of elements should be very, very important to have. So you have this scene, and everything depends on your scale. So maybe if your scale is too big or too small, you click on the intensity and you can crank it up, make it even more intense. Yeah, so that's basically what you can do in here. So I'll put a 2, make it quite obvious. The multiplier doesn't really add much in this case, but so the indirect, because it's related with the what kind of multiplier you want. If you want this to have shadows, you can create on soft shadows, but it, as you can see, propagates. Again, it's more computational power, but it gives you an extra feature. So don't forget to turn on the shadows. You can have the strength of them increased. Again, how far you want them to be. In this case, I'm happy with this situation, but if it's the near plate or end plate, you can start seeing the effects here, as you can see, 0.1, 0.2, or no effects whatsoever. So I was happy with the 0.2 and by default, but again, it depends on the scale of your model, right? So now if I go into my model, I have a point light. It should be working fine, and it will give you a kind of a realistic or a more evocative nature to your project, and that's part of what we want to have. So here we go in. So now if you look up, you start seeing that that kind of element being reflected. All right. Another types of lights are going to be directional light, which is the sun, for example, which is very similar to what we have in CAD softwares. So you probably understand already this from CAD software. So the direction sun, it's the same thing. If you click on the sun, again, it's here. That's where it comes from. That's where you define. You press rotate. You can start playing with the shadows and the intensity as well. So it's up to you to start seeing whatever you want to, wherever you want to go. Again, align this sun again with 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 the skybox. So if the sun is coming from there, if it's represented in your skybox, be aware and place the sun at the same direction. Another type of light, let's bring another one to this object, which is pretty dark. Let's put again a spotlight. Again, it's pretty much the same thing as we have in our CAD softwares, but just for your case, again, I'm bringing it close to us, and yeah, so as you can see now, I'm starting to bring in the spotlight to that area, and actually want to perhaps convey what's inside of this space. So I'm going to bring it in to the entrance, line it up, and then rotate it again to the, so R, start rotating towards that area, and the same thing like here. So I'm pretty happy. Now you can again the same thing, the intensity. I'm going to put 2. I'm assuming you can also edit the element if it's directional, if it's a point, or area vector. So if it's the spot, if you want to increase the spot area, you go here again, and I'm happy with this kind of setting, and then go W, bring it a bit upwards, more towards the entrance. Let's make a different color in this case as well. So I'll use the red for it to, or yeah, or let's use the warm color similar to the sun. So there's something like that, but you start seeing what kind of intensity it has. Still, I'm going to bring it on a little bit upwards. Again, as you can see, no shadows, so that's why it's casting over there as well. But if you put soft shadows, you'll start putting it up. And again, be careful with where it is placed, because now it is really critical. So I was not putting it in the right spot. So yeah, so now it's starting to apply the shadows inside of our model. And again, be aware of no intersections with the walls. Okay. So let's if you want again, if you want to bring this point in, this is where it's going to be softer or smoother lights. So you can just bring it in and bring it out accordingly, how much the intensity might be placed into your model. Okay, so if this is the case, all right. So that's element here. I'm kind of happy with it, and yeah. So that's, if you place go inside and inside of the house of that shell, you start playing and starts giving that effect. So so this is the red one, and this is going to be the one with the masking. And still you can see the textures inside. So I'm pretty happy about it. Yep. All right. So yeah. So this is the light tutorial. So yeah. Hopefully you'll use it. Thank you.